Hey guys, I figured I'd make a quick video just to show you the current state of things here, because as you may or may not know, the past few days has been quite intense here in Australia.
Good evening. Millions of residents are tonight being warned it's their last chance to leave, with a tropical cyclone threatening one of our capital cities. Schools and airports are now closed and the military is on standby. The Gold Coast and northern New South Wales under flood threat.
Cyclone Alfred was tracking straight for the Gold Coast, and for a while it seemed like we were in for a direct hit. So I just want to take you through what's happened, how it all unfolded, and the current state of things here. And if you are in one of the affected areas, please let me know in the comments how things are where you live right now. So I actually started to record this video yesterday, but this is still some pretty intense rain and storm here. Maybe shooting this outside wasn't the best idea. Yeah, I just had to stop and wait out the rain a bit because the weather was just way too hectic. Anyway, let's go back and break down how this all unfolded. So this all started on Saturday the 22nd, when a tropical low started to swirl somewhere northeast of Cairns. And the BOM, or Bureau of Meteorology, said that this could potentially turn into a cyclone, and if so, it will likely to start traveling south down the coast. Then by the next Friday, February the 28th, it was officially classified as a Category 2 cyclone, and it had actually begun traveling down south. Then by Monday, that is Monday, March the 3rd, things were getting clearer. The BOM said that this cyclone, Cyclone Alfred, would likely be the first tropical cyclone to hit the northeast coast of Queensland within 50 years. And during that last cyclone, 16 people actually lost their lives, and thousands of homes were flooded. 56 in Brisbane were completely destroyed, 41 in Ipswich were just washed away, and of course many areas like Surfers Paradise and surrounding suburbs in Gold Coast were completely drenched by the heavy rainfall at the time. So for the first time in over 50 years, a tropical cyclone were heading straight for our coastlines.
This looks like the most significant event in our city since 1954.
Do not underestimate this weather event.
Make your evacuation plan now.
Take this seriously. This is a rare event.
And as you'd expect, Aussies were taking this very seriously. Anyways, the government sent out this emergency text message, and people in general started to prepare for impact.
With 4 million residents told today they could be without power for at least 3 days, supermarket shelves are bare.
Move up, mate!
Sandbagging stations are being cleaned out too, while here, neighbourhood anger with dozens of bags used to hold down a roof. Up and down the coast, homeowners are preparing, building barriers, taping windows.
Cyclone is an unusual event. We're talking about 1 in 50 years.
Here, proactive policing, door-knocking homes, warning residents to evacuate by tomorrow morning latest.
And I think it was around this time, so we're now on Tuesday, where the government and the media started saying that the Gold Coast could be in the direct impact zone. And I'm not gonna lie, this was actually a bit scary.
Alfred is forecast to make landfall in darkness 2 a.m. Friday. The Gold Coast first in line.
So at this point, both Cindy and I received emails from our university saying that all lectures are cancelled, the campus is shutting down, shops were shutting down, public transportation was cancelled. And for a while it felt a bit like COVID all over again. You know, people were panic buying food, the shelves at all the grocery stores were emptied out, and the city basically went into lockdown. And then came this weird period of time when we were basically just sitting in our apartment, constantly checking the news and the weather updates, all while the rain was just pouring down outside and the wind just kept getting stronger and stronger. And I'm not kidding, literally every single day, the Bureau of Meteorology Bureau of Meteorology, the BOM kept saying that it will make landfall this night, or the cyclone will hit next morning, this morning. But somehow it just kept slowing down, and it was like moving back and forth, and yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. However, by Saturday, March the 8th, Cyclone Alfred made landfall. And if I understood everything correctly, and please do tell me in the comments if I've gotten this wrong, the cyclone made impact on Moreton Island, just north of Brisbane. Trees was falling down everywhere, and there were power outages being reported all over the place. We just heard a loud bang, and then one of the transformers on a power pole exploded.
Holy did you get...
And that's when we lost both power and cell service. It only took them like 48 hours to get it back up and running in our area, which isn't too bad. I mean, if you take a look at this map, all the red areas show people without power. And from what I've heard, it's somewhere between 250 to 300,000 households that are affected. Also, I mean, we live pretty central here in Broadbeach, so I'm sure it's gonna take a while longer to get it up and running in more rural areas. Anyways, once the wind had eased up a bit, we actually went for a stroll just to see the aftermath of things. And even just on our block, you could see trees down on literally every street. Street lamps were toppled down, brick walls had been ripped off and tipped over, signs were bent, and trolleys, bins and all sort of debris had just blown around everywhere. I mean, guys, just look at this massive tree over here. Shit, that's a pretty big one. Fucking hell. I mean, guys, just look at this giant tree that came down here. I mean, imagine the horror of sleeping inside there when this thing just falls down all over your place. And here on this balcony, the entire brick railing and all the windows have been torn off and just blown away. And then we have this bloke who literally slept through while his entire roof was being ripped off.
Believe it or not, the roof is off this house. The person inside somehow slept through it all.
I think we were asleep when the roof come off, yeah.
Did it wake you up?
No.
How'd you sleep through that?
Crazy, I had no idea.
The roof ended up over these power lines. Daniel's living room is drenched, most of his belongings too. The cleanup will be huge.
Just in shock, to be honest. Like, it's crazy. Like, you always see all this stuff on the news and stuff, but you never think it's going to happen to you, and then bang.
And down on the beach, the wind had eaten away a huge chunk of that wide, long, famous Gold Coast shoreline. Now, basically all that's left is just this steep wall of erosion dropping straight down to the water. I shot this in Broadbeach, but from what I've heard, it looks pretty much the same all the way down to Tweed Heads. But if you live on the East Coast, please drop a comment and let me know what the beaches look like in your area. So yeah, it's definitely gonna take some time and a lot of money to get everything back up and running and rebuild everything that's been lost. And as you can see, the recovery work has already started. But honestly, as bad as this is, I do think we got pretty lucky. I mean, prior to impact, the BOM was speaking about how Cyclone Alfred could potentially become a Category 3 cyclone before impact. And I mean, the destruction that would have followed would have been immense compared to this. But instead, Alfred became categorized as an ex-cyclone. Maybe Mrs. Cyclone had enough. Now, but all I know is that this situation could have been so much worse. Personally, Cindy and I just experienced a power outage and we didn't have any cell reception for a while, which in the grand scheme of things is more of an inconvenience. However, I do of course know that this is not the case for everyone. I mean, homes have been destroyed, and for some people all they own is just gone.
Fallen trees took out homes up and down the coast. The Deshpande family in Ashmore sitting in this room when everything came crashing down around them.
Those images of that roof just collapsing right in front of my eyes was just... I've never experienced something like this before.
Lizzie, a nurse in Eleanor, are stunned to find a gum tree through the front of her home.
Oh, look, I guess we're just trying to take it all in really good humour, but it is absolutely wild.
The rush of water strong enough to flip cars, while the heavy rain and wind has downed trees. The damage has brought some people to their knees.
You just have to name him. Iris is not well either, and just, yeah. You just have to just keep going. It's all good.
Such is the spirit driving those to get back on their feet, as the clean-up can and does in some places begin.
I am lucky, but I serve a good God, so...
Still, this amount of water isn't going anywhere fast. And it's what lurks underneath that's also of concern. This shark was spotted in floodwaters in Talabudgera Creek.
Are you me?
And I mean, it's certainly not over yet. The winds are still quite destructive, and with this relentless tropical rain, there's going to be more floodings.
Queensland's marathon cyclone disaster has entered a new phase. Laidley, west of Brisbane, is awash. Properties flooded, roads cut and homes isolated.
It's been a very difficult 24 hours for Harvey Bay. We, as yet, don't know the scale of the damage, but we do have intel in the ground to suggest it is significant.
On the Sunshine Coast, incredible rescues. Authorities using this drone to guide crews to people who were stuck. Swiftwater rescue teams tethered by safety wires braving raging torrents. Nambour had a record-breaking deluge for March.
Just the clean-up process for all this is going to be massive. Not to mention the financial and emotional toll this is going to take on people. Anyways, it's Monday the 10th now, and most grocery store actually opened up again yesterday. We got our power back yesterday. And I think I heard that most schools and universities and such are going to open up on Wednesday again, unless they are too damaged by the cyclone. So I just hope that everyone gets through this okay, and that the damage isn't too devastating for people. It's gonna take some time to rebuild, but hopefully things are back to normal soon. Oh, and if you are on the Gold Coast, please tell me in the comments how things are where you live. I genuinely want to know. And yeah, also, Cindy and I are actually back in university right now when we're not dealing with cyclones. So we won't be posting as often as usual, but we will still upload a video every now and then. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next video.